So I tried meditating and I just couldn't stop my thoughts. It just didn't work for me. I don't like meditating because I can't stop my thoughts and I hate not being able to do things properly. So then I just start thinking about how much I suck at it and it makes me more anxious. Does this sound relatable to you at all? If so, keep watching because I have some news for you. I'm Mae-Lin, I'm a yoga teacher and personal trainer, and I help people to get better at life through the many practices of yoga. So while you're here, make sure that you're subscribed so that you can get updates on useful videos like this one. So I consider myself quite lucky because I first tried meditation when I was around 17, and it was because I used to work with a Mahayana Buddhist monk. So this is a little bit random, but when I was 17, my dream was to become a Muay Thai fighter. So all I cared about was training Muay Thai, and I just needed a job, any kind of job that was going to pay me a little bit of cash to support myself while I did that. So the funny thing is that when you do those kinds of jobs, you tend to meet some really cool and interesting people who have dreams that just don't fall inside the corporate 9-to-5 cookie cutter kind of template. And one of those people who I met was a Maori ex-boxer from New Zealand who was in training to become a Buddhist monk. And he was working in the same vegetarian kitchen as me, washing dishes and saving money to go to Nepal. So he was the one who first told me about meditation. And the first thing that I understood from him was that meditation was all about observing yourself. So first you observe the breath and the sensations of the body, and you just practice doing that without responding to those things. So maybe you're sitting in meditation, you feel a bit uncomfortable, and you just observe that. And you just break that cycle of physical stimulus, physical sensation, physical reaction. You just observe the stimulus and the sensation, and you just sit with that, and you just don't have the need to react to it. And this just kind of leads you to the realization that if you can observe the body, then you're not the body, you are something else experiencing the body. Okay, so for a natural mystic like myself, you are not the body. This is not a big logical leap to make. So the next step that I was told to do was to observe my thoughts. And observing your thoughts is actually how you know that when you meditate, you can't stop all the thoughts, because you're observing them. So if you thought you were failing at meditation because you observed all of these thoughts that you noticed you couldn't stop, well, actually, well done, because you reached the second step of mindfulness meditation. But the thing is, you just have to observe the thoughts without following them up with more thoughts. So if you observe a thought, then you just want to observe it, and you don't want to follow it with more thoughts like, oh no, I just thought a thought. That means I suck at meditation. I'm doing this wrong. You don't want to follow it up with those other thoughts and judgments. You just want to watch it all, watch the thoughts. So at some point you notice that you're not your thoughts either, because you're the one experiencing the thoughts. You're the ones observing the thoughts. So this is kind of a bit mind-blowing for Westerners, I think, because we're brought up with this idea that the brain mind is the seat of consciousness and it is who and what we are. So yeah, but that I think is more like the ego. It's like a collection of thoughts that we have about ourselves that tell us who we think we are, if that makes sense. So after this, you can observe the emotions too. Now, some of us identify a lot with the heart, or whatever you consider the seat of the emotional center. But emotions are also just phenomena that we experience. And yes, they're somewhat related to our thoughts and to the meanings that we give things with our thoughts, but they don't define us. And we can actually just go into this process of observing the emotions without trying to fix them. So emotions often feel really overwhelming, especially the unpleasant ones. But if you just sit sometimes with your anger or heartbreak or whatever it is, you'll just notice that nothing is actually happening. Like, this emotion does not present a physical threat to you, and you can actually just sit with it and look at it. And you don't have to be afraid of it and try and stop it. You can just observe, because once again, you are not the emotions. You're something or someone beyond that experiencing these emotions. So I'm curious, I'm describing my first experiences with meditation, and I'm wondering, what were your first experiences with meditation like? So let me know in the comment section down below who introduced you to meditation, what they told you about, and what that experience was like. So anyway, what I've been describing is mindfulness meditation, and it was introduced to me as a foundation of Buddhist practice. And when you practice it over time, you just spend more and more time being in touch with the one who watches. And it's supposed to give you this lived experience of a self, which is not actually a self. So it's like a non-self, which is beyond the ego, something beyond this identity that we create for ourselves that is born, suffers, gets old, gets sick and dies, And to me, it's reassuring to connect with that vastness, that bigness, that sense of something that is just beyond our day-to-day concerns. And this is not a faith-based thing, it's an experience. And maybe it's different for everyone, but I think the point is to dedicate yourself a little bit to this practice and see what you uncover. Don't just listen to people like me telling you I went there and this is what I found. Do it yourself. Go there yourself and see what you uncover. So in short, there are many different types of meditation, but one of the most well-known, widely practiced and widely researched is mindfulness meditation. So did you notice that at no point in this did this process involve stopping your thoughts? So if you think you've been doing it wrong because you notice that your thoughts don't stop, well, congratulations, you noticed, i.e. observed, your thoughts. And that's basically mindfulness meditation. So just go do it more and do it with your body and emotions too. So if you're interested in exploring meditation further, head on over to my website, yogawithmaelin.com, to access a free guided meditation for relaxation. And if you want to explore mindfulness meditation with some physical asana practice to prepare your body beforehand, check out my Jumpstart Your Daily Practice package, which is a collection of 15 30-minute classes that progress and are focused on beginner-friendly asana and which lead to mindfulness meditation. So the links to all of these are in the description box down below. As always, take great care, and until next time, peace.